Picking the 10 best Ferrari models of all time is not an easy exercise, but someone had to do it. Sports cars don't come finer than those with the prancing horse badge, and in the 70 years that it has been around, Ferrari has built some of the finest and most desirable performance cars in the history of the industry. A lot of Ferrari models have climbed the ladder to iconic status, and even some of today's models are on their way there too. It took a lot of work and arguments, but Kirby Garlidos managed to narrow down his choices of the top 10 best Ferrari models of all time. All credit goes to Kirby Garlidos on the automotive website topspeed.com. This time, before we count down the top 10 best Ferraris of all time, don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as to turn on your post notifications so that you do not miss another upload again. Let's get right to this. Number 10. Ferrari LaFerrari. On paper, the Ferrari LaFerrari is considered the successor to the Ferrari Enzo. In reality, the two exotics share little in common with each other. By virtue of its stature as the first ever car from Maranello to use a hybrid drive system, the LaFerrari's place in Ferrari lore is secure. The aforementioned high-curve system is drawn from the company's expertise in Formula One, combining Ferrari's thunderous 6.3-liter V12 engine and a pair of electric motors to produce a total output of 963 horsepower and 663 pound-feet of torque. The LaFerrari also has its own suspension system, which Ferrari designed specifically for the supercar. The $1 million LaFerrari is the youngest car on this list, but make no mistake, it definitely deserves its place on this list. Number 9. Ferrari 365 GTB/4 Daytona. Considered as one of the most beloved Ferraris of all time, the 365 GTB/4 has become more desirable with the test of time. It didn't help that at the time, Lamborghini was starting to make waves with its sexy mid-engined supercar, the Miura. Ferrari needed to respond to the growing threats in its surroundings, and it responded with this stunner. With Pininfarina penning the car, the 365 GTB/4 was a Ferrari unlike anything the automaker had built at that time. It adopted a more angular design that accurately previewed the styling trends of the 1970s, though not necessarily in line with other Ferrari models that came before it. Number 8. Ferrari Dino 246. The Ferrari Dino 246 is historical for a number of reasons. It's one of the few cars that Ferrari built that doesn't carry the automaker's iconic prancing horse badge. That distinction is largely due to the Ferrari Dino's other distinction as the first Ferrari to feature a smaller V6 engine. The Dino first arrived in 1968 with a 2-liter V6 engine, hence its Dino 206 GT nomenclature. Ferrari pictured the Dino as its answer to the Porsche 911, and while the sub-brand itself didn't last very long, the Dino nameplate, which founder Enzo Ferrari dedicated to his son Dino, has become one of the most sought-after Ferraris of all time. Number 7. Number 6. Ferrari 125S. The Ferrari 125S is one of the most famous Ferrari models of all time. It's also one of the most controversial Ferraris of all time. Those labels are usually in line with a car that's widely regarded as the first ever model to wear a Ferrari badge. The 125S is basically history on 4 wheels, so why is it controversial? Well, even if it is the first car to wear the Ferrari badge, it's not actually the first car from Ferrari founder Enzo Ferrari. That distinction belongs to the AAC 815, a model Ferrari built through Auto Avio Costruzioni, his aircraft component production company. As historical as the 815 is in its own right, it's still not a Ferrari the way the 125 is. Number 5. Ferrari Testarossa. An entire generation of car enthusiasts can attest to the fact that their childhood bedrooms had a poster of the Ferrari Testarossa. The iconic Ferrari was never the most powerful Ferrari in history. It certainly wasn't the fastest either, but it's arguably the one Ferrari that has had the most cultural impact on any Ferrari model ever made. Its sleek front section is iconic. and the signature side strakes became so popular that it unsheared in its own revolution in the aftermarket tuning scene. At the back, the Testarossa featured a 5-liter flat 12 engine that produced 390 horsepower and 361 pound-feet of torque. Number 4. Ferrari Enzo. For the most part, Ferrari has found a way to coexist with a lot of supercar brands these days. But there once was a time when Maranello was the undisputed king of the market, which in turn led to its castle being attacked by the likes of Lamborghini, Porsche and even Mercedes-Benz. That occurred at the dawn of the new millennium. And ever proud, Ferrari responded in kind with a car that was named after its founder. And so the Ferrari Enzo was born. Number 3. Ferrari 308 GTS. Some people don't have the Ferrari 308 GTS on their list of the top 10 best Ferrari models of all time. That's fine, because when you're talking about a massive list of cars spanning 70 years, there will be some debates along the way. But Kirby Garlitos included the 308 GTS on his list because it embodies a lot of the elements people love about the prancing horse. The 308 GTS made its debut in 1977. It had big shoes to fill since it was replacing the iconic Dino 246 GT, another car that made it on our list. Looking back, the 308 GTS didn't disappoint. Visually, the 308 GTS drew many similarities to its counterpart, the 308 GTB. Number 2. Ferrari F355. The words Ferrari and elegant don't usually wind up in the same sentence. But if there was one Ferrari model where the word elegant can be used in glowing terms, it's the F355. The F355 was Ferrari's follow-up to the 348, a car that featured plenty of styling cues from the Testarossa. In some ways, the F355's design has elements of the Testarossa too. But in keeping with the times, Pininfarina simplified the F355's aesthetics, leaving the aggressive side strakes behind in favor of larger intakes and a flying buttress design that accentuated its sporty looks. Number 1. Ferrari 250 GTO. The Ferrari 250 GTO is the automotive equivalent of the Holy Grail. No car in Ferrari's history, and we mean no car, holds as much mystique and reverence as the 250 GTO. Part of the 250 GTO's mystique revolved around its capabilities when it was built. Forget about its looks and its appeal for a second. Back then, the 250 GTO was a road-going Ferrari that could show up on any racetrack and destroy the competition. That's how incredible the model was. Over the years, the 250 GTO has ascended to the top as the most desirable Ferrari in history. That is the end of the video. Make sure you are subscribed so that you do not miss any more top 10 videos just like this one. Lastly, be sure to check out our previous upload on the top 10 best Lamborghini models of all time. And we'll see you on the next one.